All right, take two. Let's try it again. I apologize. About 2 minutes into me getting set up to broadcast, my internet crashed, my Wi-Fi crashed. That happens to the best of us. So we'll try to get restarted. We lost most of our time. Well, this will be a short one, no matter how you look at it. All righty, let's get started. Got a little bit of Pirates of the Caribbean there. But if you pronounce it Caribbean, you might. Say hello to Harold this morning. Let me scratch his neck. It feels good for him. Hope you guys are doing well. A little frustrating there, trying to get started. Was out feeding the chickens and ducks before class started, and I came in here with like 2 minutes to spare, and I was like, yes, gonna get her done. Well, let's talk about experimental procedures and some of the things that you need to remember to do. Let's say that you need some sort of cups. I would prefer, depending on what you're using, that you probably use something made out of glass. It could be, many of us have old mismatched cups that we could use, old canning jars laying around. Make sure you get permission, but something that you can use just for an experiment. If you're not using anything that's caustic or that's going to damage, like a plastic cup, you can use plastic cup. Got a plastic cup to show you. Again, you're going to want to be able, maybe do you need to stir something? Do you have something like a popsicle stick? You could actually even use a pencil, a skewer, a stir stick that you would mix paint with. The list goes on. A pen. Just understand that you're probably going to ruin whatever you're going to use. Don't use your kitchen utensils, especially with. I prefer you not, unless it's an old one that you can discard. Maybe you have something in the garage that you can use. But I did put an example of experimental procedures. I included that in that. Hey, Daniel, I included that in that list that I sent you. And I apologize. My internet crashed right after 11 o'clock and took me a while to get it reset. Simple things that need to be in your procedures. I did give you an example to look at that you might want to think about is things like making sure that you're labeling, A, B, and C. Okay. If you're better off using your fingers and toes because you like to count, you can label them 1, 2, and 3. Where's 3? All right. ABC 1, 2, 3. Typically, hey Tristan, I don't know what my other live stream is doing because I tried to cancel it. Hopefully everybody's getting to this one. But anyways, we'll see what happens. And I'll make sure that I cancel out. I was showing how we have to make sure that we label our specimens. I have some cups here, and like I said, I've labeled them A, B, and C. A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3. Mr. Fosnight, you feel a Jackson 5 song coming on? I don't know if he even got back on this one. He may be in the other one, which is crazy. I don't know how I can have 2 live streams coming out of the same computer, but oh well. So when you're doing your experiment and when you're writing your procedures before you do it, make sure you do things like, say, label three cups. What's your question mark about? Labeling, if you've got 3 plants that you're growing, you need to label them as plant A, plant B, plant C. I will help you, Kadance, with an idea for your experiment. I've got a couple things floating around in my head. I will message you later. Working now, all right? Cool, Katana. Yeah, I was pretty frustrated. I got back inside with about 10 minutes to spare, or with about 2 minutes to spare. I'd gone out and taken care of the chickens today and ducks. And what I'll probably do is I'll private message you. If you're having trouble coming up with an idea, private message me, or if I know, I'll private message you in Google Classroom. We can private message each other, and it doesn't have to be a big public thing. Some of you are using email with me, and that's fine. I think almost everybody that's gotten on here has emailed me, and that's really cool. Understand, I really expect to get a lot of questions during this, and I even into the evening, and Katana and Cadence both know this, that I'll answer their emails even in the evening, because I've been checking, knowing that maybe you guys slept till noon and didn't feel like working, and when your parents got home from work, they're like, get going on that. Or all right, well, I just got an email from your brother yesterday, so don't tell me that. Katana, I just got an email from you. If you're not putting in the right address, I just got an email from your brother yesterday. Two as a matter of fact. And so if you have to use his, that's fine, but you're probably putting in the wrong email address. It's my first name dot my last name at summitacademies, plural.org. Yes, you can, Nathaniel. Absolutely. Here we go. Right, there's my email address again. It doesn't matter, Katana, because if you go into Google Classroom, you can send me a message there anytime. I'd be happy to help you. Nathaniel, I might come over and raid your house today. I don't know. All right, I'm just joking. Anyways, now I'm all flustered because of that internet problem. What I wanted to say is make sure that you're labeling everything. Oh, the paper is wrong. Well, there's my right address. Yeah, honestly, even though I've been teaching here for 5 years, there are staff members that still spell my name wrong. Mr. Fosnight is not one of them. He's awesome. He knows how to spell my name, and I know how to spell his name. Label things, okay? Again, if you're still on the point where you don't even have an idea, this is getting a little bit ahead of you. But make sure you're substituting things. What can I use as a stirring stick? Could I use a popsicle stick or tongue depressor? Use stuff you got around the house. A pencil, maybe an old screwdriver, a paint stick. Anything that you can imagine, and you don't want to ruin something if you're going to ruin it by doing your experiment. The procedures, and I posted this in on Google Classroom, where you have two examples of a materials list and an example of procedures. And it's step by step, okay? And sometimes if there's a step that needs to be repeated, you could just say, because you have 3 examples, right? You're going to do the same thing to all 3 examples? You probably are. So maybe once you get to step 5, you're saying repeat step 3 through 5, or get to step 6, repeat steps 3 through 5 for sample B and sample C. So you're not writing out these long set of instructions. Mr. Fosnight has told me that, and he's told you guys too, that he would get an experiment that he did when he worked in the lab with instructions this thick. And that's not what's required of this, but you should probably have in the vicinity of, I don't know, 8 to 10 steps, because some of that is, how are you recording your data? Remember, we have to make sure that we're measuring things, how much liquid, how much sunlight, time, temperature, color, things that we can measure with our senses. And I will tell you this too, when you get my address correct, make sure, I really want to see pictures of your project. Some people have already sent me some stuff, a few people have, and I'm excited to see more of your projects. This is one of my favorite things to do as a teacher, and sadly we're not doing it together, and it really kind of breaks my heart, because I love watching you guys explore and learn, and the more you do it, the more you remember this process, okay? And honestly, the state mandates, and there's a purpose. It's actually supposed to be from grade 5 through grade 8 that you guys repeat doing the same thing with your experiments. And each year, oh yeah, it gets a little bit more complicated. I expect more this year than what you guys did in 6th grade, and next year our experiments will be a little bit more complicated, maybe some additional steps or additional processes, or more in-depth ideas of what we're trying to do. Don't be scared by that. Just remember to challenge yourself with these and be intellectually honest. Don't do something that you did in 4th grade and 5th grade and 6th grade, and now you're going to do it in 7th grade. I want you to have the attitude that you want to learn something and you're not just going through the motions. you just remember, you can pretty much adapt anything that you can think of. We can find ways to adapt it to doing it at home. And so if you have an idea, then we can go, let's work with it. Let's twist it and see how we can make this work at home. Oh, I saw this really cool experiment online. Okay. Do you already know what's going to happen because you watched it? Well, yeah, I do, Mr. Soriani. Okay. Then how can we change it a little bit where you actually have a question, and the question might be, if this is changed, will I get the same result? Or if something in that experiment is substituted, will you get the same result that you're getting now? All right. So sadly, I've only been on for 16 minutes. I'm already probably into Mr. Murray's time. And so this is going to be a quick one. I'm going to be talking about the same things with the sixth graders. If you want to get logged on, at noon, it's up to you. But I'll be broadcasting again with the sixth graders at noon, and hopefully not any internet problems. So I'm going to kind of end early because I don't want to be over the top of him. And hope you guys are having a good day. I miss you as usual. And maybe I'll see you at noon. All right. Take care.